everybody say, especially when the door is closed, like the door closes and then, wow, so quiet. And wow, so interesting. Such an interesting strip slides and like the colors and of course when it I can press like a small trailer. I can press one button and there's the lighting behind the fabric that goes. Let me turn off the headlights. So we demonstrate how it's really organized and done and what really affects the effect that you've just been to. Not here, not heard or seen. You've been to a movie. And that's the engineering that is behind this experience. So it's all orchestrated and engineered and thought through thoroughly and then implemented the same way. And that is capable of delivering such an emotions and delivering it very fast, very quick, and you just teleport yourself and the body won't lie. If you feel it, like in the first several seconds, and you say, oh, wow. And that is the Blackroom.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the latest episode of Zebra Spotlight. I'm honored today to chat to Anton Zadnepryannyy, all the way in Russia. Anton is CEO, founder of Blackroom Theaters. We're going to find out more about what that is. I find it very intriguing. Anton is going to talk about his background and how he got into this whole thing in the first place, and also the international development, which we're very excited to hear about. So, Anton, please introduce yourself to the audience.
Hello, Atif. Thank you so much, first of all, for actually bringing me in, because that was like one of my desires this year to actually start doing these kind of podcasts and share and talk about my passion, because what I do is actually the realization of the best and the biggest passion of my life. Doing these wonderful rooms. One of them I'm sitting right now currently in. This is our showroom in Moscow. Our brand new showroom is like several months old. It's brand new. The Blackroom is a name. It is already international name, because it was conceived as an international company at the end of 2019. But I had the experience in building home cinemas before that. I had just working with my partners in another company, and currently, I have around 14 years of experience in this particular area. Before that, I have a background of CIO. I've been the managing director in charge of IT of one big media holding here in Moscow. And when I realized that this job will not give me and will not bring me the fulfillment and happiness, I really just took a pause and I did a homework for around a year and couldn't find anything else which would actually give me energy to go further, to move forward. And that was the home cinema. I always like to watch movies at home and always strive to the how can I do it better? How can when there was just a VHC, I tried to understand how do I get the stereo sound from it? How do I connect speakers to the TV, etc., etc., etc. There's always this magic in watching movies, in living that life of any life actually that's played in the movie. Like you can imagine yourself main character or the second role character, and you can live this life with him together. But it's quite hard to do that when you just have a small CRT TV with a VHS 10 times your right copy, etc. So that's what always actually gave me the energy. And of course, I try to do it the best way first, just finding the copies of not translated movies, just watch it as it intended in original English language. That was like another example. And yeah, this was the passion that never actually left me. There were some other hobbies that I tried that I did for several years, and they just like the taking photos or something like that. But watching movies at home and trying to do it better, that was something that never stopped and always developing, developing, developing.
And it's very interesting. Obviously, you're watching your videos and listening to some of your tutorials. There's an intense amount of. I mean, you're always hinting towards the engineering, the science background, getting the calculations correct. There's a lot of emphasis on there, and I guess that comes from some of your engineering background. But you're also very. I believe you're very passionate about music, and you had early influences. Tell us a little bit about your musical inspiration.
Yeah, this thing that also never left me is always listen to music. Whenever I am, it could be like a weak thing, like the downside that you cannot be like comfortable with yourself without any interactions. But for me, it's more like um, tuning to a frequency, tuning to some kind of energy, and it helps you to live your life. It helps you to do something you want, or either relax, either hard work, concentrated work. So the music was always with me. And I think that's very actually connected to the talents, my naturally born talents. Uh, I have quite a good hearing. And you can tell that by just if I bring an example that I can sit down in front of the piano and play you any tune you ask me to. So, but in two simple ways, it's like C minor or D major or something like that, but no black keys, because I am self-taught. I taught myself to actually play piano only by having the good hearing. My father used to play piano, and I think I have like strong genes. My mother used to sing very well. She still does. And my father had a very good education. He danced. He was ex-Navy, and he played the piano very well. So we had the piano. We had this stereo Soviet Union. You must understand. Yeah, we had very limited access to actually quality music. So we had this record player with the radio. We call it radiola. So it has the record player, the radio, and two separate speakers, which were like mounted somewhere on the top of a big furniture wall. And so we had like children records and jazz records. So my father loved jazz. So he got raised in like back in 60s. So yeah, that was in his blood. And of course he tried to pass it down to us, to kids. And yeah, the music was always somehow with me. And then there was the first nice TV in the 90s, and then the video player and those pirate VHS tapes with movies. That was the beginning. That was the beginning of the passion, and it never ends. And I always used to find the way to make it better, to watch it in a better way. Did I answer the question?
No, you did magnificently, and so now that you can see where the passion comes from, where the influences come from. What's also very interesting, a lot of people from engineering and IT background usually enter this industry from the smart home integration aspect. Some people, like myself, come in just because we just love watching movies and we want to recreate the experience at the cinema. How do we get that in our own home? And then you learn the science behind that's achieved. And then, you guys, everyone just comes together. What's interesting and what I find fascinating, particularly about what Blackroom stands for, there's a big push now towards the aesthetics in rooms and people's comfort and luxury that perhaps wasn't there 15, 20, 25 years ago. Nowadays, it's how does one feel when they walk into the room? How does the family feel? Are the guests and friends, are they in awe of the room when they walk in? And I notice a lot of your videos really talk about the aesthetics in the room, of the finish. So, what influenced you in that to bring that into your projects?
As one of our key uh, fathers, I don't know, key players of the industry, Peter Eilert says, the totality of experience, because everything matters in this room. And we are all different. So some owners, some clients really don't care about the electronics. Some don't care about the video. Most of them care about the video, but some of them are more care about audio. Some of aspects of that, but most of our clients are very, very eager to have very nice looking room. That's what they understand. They understand the renderings, and for it to be that's good as they like, for example, heard in our demo room. That's key 2 points for them of the project success. So it must look as they want it to look, because we all have our different reasons why we do those rooms as a client, as an owner, as a customer. It all somehow connected for us to be like more happy, but happiness means different things for a different person. But we all can actually value and appreciate when something is done nice, when there was a hard work and it's been done, and no small parts are left out. Most of the men can really appreciate that, and that complexity of the approach is actually one of my and our key values of the company, because you can spoil the totality of experience, the whole project, the whole final effect of the room, just by spoiling in one small area, in one small thing. Either it's visible, either invisible, but one small error, like not fixing the speaker right, not placing and fixing or not fixing. Sometimes it's better not to fix the subwoofer, for it not to make any external buzzing. And everything can go through, through the window when you just spoil one small thing. And this thing I always understood, because I know how I think there's another my key talent that actually helps me to be good at it. What I do is to understand how the small systems are working, and how this complicated mechanisms or machines are working, how it's all organized, why, how many small parts, and how they, like, what part are they taking in the whole system. And when you just take one piece out of the system, it just cannot not affect it. And this was always my thing, to look everywhere and to pay attention to everything that I know where to pay attention, because this product is very unique in that regard. It's like a puzzle with it has many, many, many layers in many, many, many sciences, many, many like different things to think about, at least, and then to implement that. And you have to implement that together with all other systems and levels and layers, and that's interesting, and it's quite interesting task to solve. So when I speak to my clients, I always say this analogy, like we always, every project we do is like a tailor-made costume. Sometimes it's bespoke, but most of the time, I can forget the word. No, most of the times is bespoke. Sometimes it's made for measures. Like, there's two types of when you want to sew yourself a custom fit out custom costume. You can do it like more typical way or full customized bespoke. Yeah, of course, we know several areas of different disciplines of different sciences. We know we got a lot of know-hows. We got a lot of technologies that have been already in place, which have already been tested and proved themselves. We can just repeat and repeat and repeat and be sure that this really gives us the result we want. But each project is always an alpha project. It's not even beta. You still um, put all these things together every time with another set of initial like parameters of the room, of the client's preferences, and all of that small things. And we sew this tailor-made, this bespoke costume every time. Of course, we have some buttons, we have the fabric, we have like other components and knowledge how to do that, but the person is always unique. And this task is usually it's like a mathematical task with like hundreds of things you don't know, and like X, Y, Z, etc. And you just solve this equation, and it's all the time it's a different equation, and that's makes it very interesting.
I'm glad you mentioned the whole layering process. In fact, I never probably articulated it like that, but you're absolutely correct, because a recording studio is one type of room, the commercial cinema is another type of room, the kitchen or the lounge area is another type of room. What you've just described, a reference grade cinema room at home in a luxury residential complex, is an incredibly complicated room, because you're bringing in all of these different elements, some of which don't quite work together, but you have to sort of make it work together in the end. And it's sorting out those compromises. Dialing one thing up here will reduce something here, and it's just about getting that equilibrium that you create. So the room is visually stunning, it feels comfortable, it performs very well, and understanding all the complexities in between. So orchestrating that, it is incredibly complex. So I'm glad you explained it like that. And you hinted about your approach to delivering a room. Before we discuss that, in your vision, what does Blackroom represent? Because in my mind, I'm thinking of high-end caviar, VIP experiences. As I mentioned to you before, I think on LinkedIn, I love the branding. So what does Blackroom represent? So if someone says Blackroom, I want a Blackroom theater, what sort of clients will approach you, and what do you represent?
Yeah, it was initially intended to be very, very connected to the product, to this kind of rooms where nothing actually gets in your way of being there, being inside the movie. And yeah, when there's no light, in the best way, in the best world, in the ideal world, is just a black room. It's a black velvet room with the projection and like the sound that really makes your body ache and believe those goosebumps. Everything is just the tears, no matter what emotion. It does it right away. That's what the black room is. But when the lighting is up, it looks as you intended it to be, and you always can, even if it's very, very modern and minimalized, like this showroom. This room, it's like you see, it's like a small Dolby Cinema themed, something like that. Mostly fabric walls, a lot of LED lighting, but still, when you come in, when this design is thought through very well, everybody say, especially when the door is closed, like the door closes and then, wow, so quiet. And wow, so interesting. Such an interesting strip slides, and like the colors, and of course when I can press like a small trailer, I can press one button and there's the lighting behind the fabric that goes. Let me turn off the headlights. So we demonstrate how it's really organized and done, and what really affects the effect that you've just been to, not hear, not heard or seen. You've been to a movie, and that's the engineering that is behind this experience. So it's all orchestrated and engineering and thought through thoroughly, and then implemented the same way, and that is capable of delivering such an emotions and delivering it very fast, very quick, and you just teleport yourself, and the body won't lie. If you feel it, like in the first several seconds, and you say, oh, wow, and that is the black room. That is the black room, and the complexity of the approach. That's one of the core values, and the thing that really helps us to deliver that. So yeah, that's my personal goal from the beginning, to do some way where everything else just disappears, and to always go higher, 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 and just, I don't know, someday it's gonna be something, I don't know where it's gonna be, but right now is something that really blows you away at the first like 5-10 seconds. You just play some of the things in this room. And I'm not only talking about video part and movies, because music in Dolby Atmos currently, with this small amount of subscription fee with iTunes, Apple, you can listen to the music the way you never expected to listen it before. It's a brand new way of engaging and listening to the music, being inside the studio, like surrounded by the musicians. That's something. Yeah, I can talk about it a lot, because I have this another professional deformation, because for 7 years, this month is going to be 7 years as I actually doing my Russian language YouTube channel. We have like 114, I guess, subscribers, 14,000 subscribers now. So the silver button, all that. But it's been a journey, as you might understand. And this one of another professional deformation. Please stop me when you think it's it's time, because I can talk about it a lot and for long time.
Fantastic. It always intrigues me that I mean, I feel everything that you're saying, and I completely, I'm invested. I'm in that. I'm in that. How would you describe your typical client? Who emails you or picks up the phone and say, "We're interested in working with you. Can we start discussion?" Who your typical sort of, what is a Blackroom client?
There's always such thing as your client and not your clients. I believe that these values that I actually broadcast in the atmosphere via my YouTube videos, via our marketing packaging, or maybe even ads as we do it. Of course, they are very deep with the professionalism and expertise, and sharing the passion. And this totality of the approach, this comprehensive approach for every aspect of it, for the client to be sure he's gonna have the maximum essence of what is there, and he can really rely on a company as a trustworthy, really deep dive professional specialist who will do everything for the amount of money he's really willing to invest. And very often, I must say that clients don't expect that there's such things, and that they go down that deep in the emotions, in the level of emotions they can really get from just a home theater. And that is why we are the strong advocates of the experience center, showroom, whatever you call it. Is the only way, and the only right way to actually show the client what's out there exists. Because most of them are not like, they all are surprised. There were no guests in this type of rooms which come and then go, I've seen better. No way. There's no way. Most of them are just, how am I gonna watch my movies at home? Shit. There are several typical reactions, but this is one of the like most commonly met when the guests say just how now I'm gonna watch the movie somewhere else? How? And then we say, there's your certificate. Bring your friends, bring your colleagues. If it's like a partner or designer, bring them all together. Just watch the whole movie, because watching the whole movie, not a scene, demo clips, is the whole other experience to bring yourself and deep down into the movie and really live that life fully with the heroes on the screen. And yeah, most of our guests are saying that we are changing their life. So that's like before and after Blackroom, and it's always makes me, my employees, my colleagues very happy that we are doing really something extraordinary. And you cannot like make it. You can just make it up. It's always very deeply emotional, and people are just, even the most grumpiest guys, and in Russia there's a lot of grumpy guys. Sometimes I am myself that kind of guy, but then they come here, they all going out smiling and just thinking about either not buy a new car, or like really ready to spend more because they just didn't understand why like fitting out and bringing several speakers and projector into the room can really cost like this and this amount of funds. And here they really start to understand, and that is the best and the only way to actually bring people into our world, as I say, and really show them how interesting, how complicated, and how emotional it is, that they can really own it themselves. And if our values are resonated with them, if they see us, our approach, our way of delivering, and our way of perfectionism, our way of complexity, not the complexity, the wholeness of the approach to the whole, all those levels and layers of creating such a space. When they understand, they can really appreciate and easily go and be our clients. And we love to have such clients that can really appreciate, that went through the showroom, because when the client wasn't here, expect the trouble along the way, during the deal, and after that. And that's not very, like, it's not even for us, it's the best client, because we always love when our spaces which we are building are used very often. And then I come to a site that we've done like a year ago, 2 years back, and I see that there's a mess, a lot of pillows, game controllers, Blu-ray disc enclosures, or just disc or something. And I see the hours on the projector that has been really roughly used very thoroughly. That gives me a very deep satisfaction. And
Wow.
this room is very. It's like becomes the center of of the house very often when done right, and we are not doing things in some any other way. So
There you
that's
have
who
it.
we are.
That's the Blackroom experience, or as someone put it, the Blackroom therapeutic experience. So if you're feeling grumpy, just take a trip and you'll sort that out.
True. True.
And so you mentioned, your showroom now that you're setting is in Moscow. Just tell us where the other showrooms and where the other parts of the business are located, in case people want to come and engage with you there.
Yeah, several years ago, we actually, we were approached, but it was in our intention, in our future plans and vision. When I imagined this particular company, because I'm like the sole owner and the sole founder, and of course, I translate all my personal values into what we do and how we do that. From the beginning, I imagined it as an international, as I said, and I really want to do the best project there is for the best clients that can really appreciate it all around the world. Work and travel. That's the best thing. And I'm already doing that. So currently we have the showroom with my partner in Uzbekistan, Tashkent. It's fully fledged home cinema with the system like this. Here in Moscow, it's like Uzbekistan, Tashkent clients even more didn't expect what the home cinema can be and can sound, and what emotions it can bring you. So there's a fully fledged like 4-story showroom with different types of smart home engineering system and all that. That's my partner, what he's doing, and the home cinema part, we are taking care of it. So he's like the first franchise of Blackroom, and it's quite successful. Right now, we've done several projects and feeling strong about that market. And I'm really happy when I bring something new and people don't expect that there was such things at all in the world, And right now, Uzbekistan is very lucky to have such a high level showroom. Another place we are very active currently is UAE, Dubai. We almost finished right now designing and almost getting starting building out our another showroom in Dubai. It's going to be a very nice place with the next level, because when I do something, I always try to do it next level, not only try new things, test new things. That's always also a case, but I always to be better and more professional and higher grade, get more feedback from it in the end to grow. That's one of my another core values, always growing. And yeah, it's gonna be very, very cool place. Dubai is also don't have, unfortunately, and very surprising for myself when I came first time in Dubai like 3 or something years ago back. I didn't find any good showroom right there. What we are doing, and right now there will be. One of the distributors is like launching their experience center very soon, and I think our place will be the next one of that very, very high level. And we're gonna educate UAE people and expat people. The most of the population in UAE, as you know, is the expats, and I really want to bring what we do to that wonderful country. And yeah, my family is actually living right there currently. So it's been like, so it's almost 2 years as my kids are going to Dubai school, and my wife is staying there with them, and I'm like Figaro traveling among these countries. And yeah, but that wasn't my vision, and I'm living my vision right now already, though it's not yet met fully, but I'm going there slowly. And the next point of business is USA, California. When I was a kid, I, of course, being a kid in Soviet Union, I wanted. There was like this, I don't know, common thing to want to get out of the country and just live in USA, American dream, and all that. Very soon I realized it's not that of a dream, that I can really travel and be in here, in there, wherever I choose, if I have the freedom. And especially if I'm doing the thing I love, that would be just the best case scenario. So currently I have a partner in California. We are based in Irvine, and are also looking for a place to build a showroom. The showroom will be somewhere closer to LA, and we are already taking on board first projects right now, and really open to this. So if anybody watches in California, don't be shy to contact me, and my partner will be happy to help. And so, yeah, and the overall vision, if we're talking about like the whole picture, is like being represented where it's obvious to be represented. Like if there's a reason, and there's the right man, the right partner, because I cannot like clone myself, and how connected to the like main expert this business is. Uh, as I meet new partner that is really fit for what I do, that shares my values, of course, and ready to go. I really will open another points of representation in other countries. So whenever it makes sense, and whenever I meet the right partner to do it with. And I'll be
Fantastic.
happy to travel and just to share what we are doing. That's the vision.
We'll have to do an invitation to Toronto. I think it's another market that's crying out for a similar sort of showroom. The other interesting thing, I don't know what it is for your business, but certainly the client inquiries that I receive, a majority of them are actually coming from women nowadays, and they're very invested and interested in how the room's going to look, how it's going to perform, and we often will entertain couples, families, whereas 15, 20 years ago it just used to be like a manned DIY hobby, bat cave approach, floor standing speakers, just put them around the screen, fit the projector yourself. But certainly in the luxury part of the industry, I think that's whole shift has changed, and now women are incredibly, rightly so, very fussy about how the room needs to look and perform. What's your experience in terms of the clients that approach you?
Of course, most of the decision-making side is usually a husband in our experience, but sometimes, of course, is very, very how you call that,
Influenced?
influenced, by the best part of the family, at least influenced, and you can always feel that when the client is hesitating. He has to actually get advice from his best part, and most of the times, of course, the wives are in charge of how it's gonna look, or making some nay, like on some solutions they just have a right to say no. And but usually I believe that in this synergy, in this way, we have both types of energies, and I really like when there's an engagement from the client side and from the both sides of the client, because sometimes we just don't see the client at all. There are such projects we not even seeing the client, we cannot talk about it. So there are in every high-end integrator client here, I believe there are such clients which we are only dealing with reps or like designers, etc., etc. And the more the client is engaged, and the more it engaged everyone who's going to use that room, the better the room is done in the end. And the better connection you have with the client, the better connection you have with the real customer that's gonna really use the room, not his rep, not his lawyer. I don't know anyone who can represent his him. The more personalized, the more correct, and the more enjoyable room in the end you get. So the influence, I don't really separate it from like, is it a man? For us, important just to get it, and that's one of our more another like value. We try to be proactive
Mm-hmm.
when we working with the client, when we are doing the discovery stage here in the showroom. We try to understand as much as possible about the client, about how he plans to use it, how he envisions it, what are the scenarios of and we try, of course, we try to educate him to really like put him in our world, and just say, because I have a document that actually is a list of this and this many things which this room can be used for. And of course, it's not only watching shows, movies, and like listening to music. There are more than 20 bullets in this point, in this list. And very often clients just don't expect, and they say, wow, yeah, I could work here. I could really make the Zoom calls here. And the wife can say, "Oh, yeah, it's such a great quiet room and so much fresh air here when it's done right, of course." And in this showroom, most of the people really also notice that because we are analog humans. We need to breathe. We need to be comfortable, and we can really appreciate and feel that. Even when the client say, "I don't know anything about that. I don't want to go to your showroom," please just come. And when he comes, not only he saying everything in his own words, but he notices everything, and he's like can really notice and appreciate in his say, but no, it's nice air here. It's quiet. And then after the demo, he in his own words, he just says how it was, and it's always like vice versa from what he said before. Most of us can really appreciate and hear everything. We just like I don't know why we just saying those things. We if something is done right and it really gives you that suspension of the disbelief, you can truly appreciate that and you can express that in your own words, but you can definitely express that, and everybody express it somehow. So that is why the experience is the key. And so these scenarios or these other types of scenarios, to talk about them is very important. And sometimes we really make some changes or add something into the room for particular scenario. Sometimes it's running, how you call that, running trainer. You just place it behind the second row, and the guys who are actually into sports, they just do two things together. They're running and they watching some news feed or I don't know, something else, and just save the time and use the room in some other new way. And we just add a new way of using this room into our list. And some of those bullet points I cannot talk openly and freely, but there are some funny ones I'll share with you once we're off
We can
the
imagine.
podcast.
And,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
tell me about, can you share about some of your biggest challenges?
After so many projects, more than 50 currently, I'm not sure I'm actually surprised in any way when I approach some challenge. I even actually I love to approach the challenge when you do something the first time, but when you get from the experience, when you've done things around this somewhere close, somewhere like in this area, not that complicated, but when you have the experience of that kind, you are really feel yourself comfortable with new challenges. Bring it on. That's what I say. Yes. Okay, let's do it like that. Remember that project we've done? Let's change this, and just it's gonna be the solution. Because this particular showroom, it was like designed through the whole process. It was like edit, and edit. Edited, and edited during the way. So several solutions were just changed on the way. So many small things, new things, and it all worked out very, very well. Very cool. Because right there we have the Christie projector M4K. It's situated on a glass shelf behind the cinema, fixed to the ceiling. Watching through the custom made our own port glass with 2 layers of glass. Before that, we never done 2 layers of glass, for example, because I understood that the one level will not be enough with this projector. Before that, we had the previous showroom where was like 2 JVC projectors, and it was quite enough to have just 1 layer. Here, no, let's do the 2, and yeah, it works. It's dead quiet here. And it's quite noisy. It's 24,000 lumens projector, and so many small things. And the feature is we do our designs in 3D design programs. Like currently, it's Revit, Autodesk Revit. It's something where the engineering system of the big buildings are designed, engineered, and we building only one room. But all the layers, all the components have their own correct physical dimensions, attachments, layering, even wiring, and like many things. So in the end, we have the project album design. Currently, the biggest one is 165 pages.
Wow.
And it's all about one room.
Wow.
So you might imagine the level of engineering. Like I don't know if I should show something here, but I can do that. It's all those subsystems which makes the result the way it is, but e- every one of them is important, and just skipping it, you just making the probability of the mistake higher and higher, not taking care of it in advance. And when you thought, the more you thought through before, the more you plan, the easier and more predictable result you get in the end. That's what I strongly believe in. And of course, it's so hard to do that in 2D drawings. That's why, first of all, it has to come together in 3D. Before that, we used like SolidWorks with AutoCAD. Now, to do things faster, we're using Revit. So the whole cinema is built there first, and only then goes to drawings, subsystems, and to this physical media album. We have, these piles of these projects already. But I believe that's also one of our strong key points: the engineering part and the wholeness of engineering, like the wholeness of the experience. Like I strongly advocate and believe in the wholeness of engineering, because it's better to spend 8 hours on planning and then not spending extra 2 weeks in redoing the job you didn't think about in the first place. So that's
you shared some of the you've mentioned obviously in your theatre room here you've got a Christie projector. Just briefly, can you just talk about some of the engineering components in terms of what else you've got in this room, just for some of our enthusiasts to understand?
Yeah, sure. It's a room that is actually built inside the mall. We are situated in the designers aimed space where they can find everything for the room, for the whole house build out and fit out, and equipment in terms of furniture, everything you can think about when you're building your own house or a big cottage. There's everything here. It's 27,000 square meters mall, fully about this and about the premium and luxury level of these things. So we had a challenge of building the home cinema where what sound levels are easily achievable within the next to other pavilions of our partners who's like selling carpets, selling elevators, lifts. Like there's a event hall right behind that wall, for example. And we've done this in collaboration of one of our local soundproofing materials company. So it's the first time we're actually doing something this interesting in such an interesting space. So this room is fully room within a room. The floating floor, external walls has based on the mall like floor level concrete. Then we poured the floating floor, built the inner walls on this floating floor, fixed the ceiling. So it's fully room within the room, soundproof system. Around, I don't know, around 300 millimeters, 30 something centimeters deep. All the layers is just the soundproofing. And this is room around 40 square meters or like 400 square feet or something. It was 47 square meters. Right now, after the soundproofing and fit out, it's more like 42, I guess. It depends on how you measure, because the design is not very like simple. It's also 3D. It's like cocoon that, like, Dolby cinemas are made. It's this type of design that goes like there in the back.
And is it a rectangle sort of shaped room, so longer rather than wider, or?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So we had a possibility to choose the dimensions. But whenever you like doing, it's never enough, size wise and form wise. You're never happy because there's no perfect shape. There's no perfect shape. But we tried to find the best one to fit what we aim to fit. And right now here we got 9.1.6 audio system. It's Elcon's audio. We also represent Elcon's audio in Russia, in Uzbekistan, also in UAE. We are like very good partners with this brand and this technology. There's such thing, as you said before we started to record this podcast. I really have to experience something to believe and to rely on. So this particular system is something that I can really first thing enjoy myself always. Each time I do that, each time I build a new cinema with Elcons, I can really get the predicted very enjoyable experience in the end, just to the nature of the technology. That's just it, and it's quite unique. Second part, of course, I can trust and rely on how it works and predictability of how it's gonna sound, the wholeness, the sound field.
How many seats can you accommodate in the current theater?
It's 8-seat room.
So 8-seater theater. Okay.
8-seater. Yeah, it's for four seats in the front, recline chairs, and the second row is temporary 2 couches, just Chesterfield design, like, I don't know, but it works so far. Last year when we finished the room was like not the best way and not the best year economically here in Russia, as you might guess why. So yeah, I really happy that we eventually just did it and put it all together. That was the challenge itself, to make it work, to make it finished. So they are quite handy. Not very often we have the full room with the demo. Only when there's like the whole cinema experience, the whole movie experience. This room can be fitted like 8 people, and it's quite enough for the showroom. It's quite enough.
How large is the screen?
The screen is 170 inches wide. It's flat aspect ratio or 16:9 screen.
Fantastic.
It's a Screen Excellence brand with acoustically transparent screen. The classic. This room is like the most of the things are as good as they can be. Even the design is that simple for the engineering part, and the audio and video part could be as perfect as it can.
Fantastic.
So it's like 70 or 63 or 64 viewing angle from the first row. You two could really enjoy the whole resolution of 4K projector, and whole immersive system of 9.1.6 and 4 18-inch subwoofers, closed enclosures. So this is whole way around Elcon's system, and the rack is situated back there when you just open the door from the cinema. So the entrance is back there behind the riser. There's a riser, 450 millimeters, because with the screen of such shape, you have to make the second row higher than usually, and it really works, especially when there are no recliners back there. It's very comfy. So what else about this room?
Which
What else?
which processor and
Yeah, it's all
amplification have you gone
actually
for?
it's powered by their own amplifiers,
Right.
because Elcons is like Apple, is closed system.
Got it.
You just cannot buy yourself only amplifiers or only speakers. You always buy a system with correct DSP profiles, limiters, and all that, and it really works.
And
It's a
which
Trinnov altitude.
oh, I was going to ask you. So you're using a Trinnov altitude for the digital room
It's
correction.
altitude 32, yeah, and we use the whole 16 AES outputs to the Alcons amplifiers. That's one of the features as well. You go as far as you can in digital domain. Only one time, just convert it in the amplified controllers and send it to the speakers. That also gives you the better headroom, the less noise in the speakers. It's always good to have, and less conversions this way and another to preserve the quality.
Fantastic.
One of the key system components is the clean power. We have a very big, very powerful separating transformer that actually powers all the equipment. It's like almost 20 kilowatts of power it can handle easily, and it really powers up and really gives you the feeling of like you really believe in what you hear. So there's a not even funny difference just listening to the directly connected system to the power grid and through the separating transformer.
Amazing.
We strongly believe in the clean power. It really gives you that next level of the suspension in terms of sound. And yeah, the rest is not that interesting, I guess. But
And
the overall
integration system have you chosen to sort of control everything?
Because we're mostly doing only one room in the house, very rarely we like take some other scope parts, like very rarely, but it can be like multi-room audio or something like that, or some stereo system somewhere in the living room. But most of the times it's just a cinema, and in cinema it's quite enough for us to have a trustworthy, reliable, and very like understandable solution. Most of the times we use RTI. It's even something that I can myself fix something if something goes wrong, not rely on the engineer, etc., etc. And it is they very enough, for our tasks. And you can right now you can do any interface you want, so it's trustworthy, reliable solution.
So you mentioned that you've obviously operating actively operating in 3 cities. You're creating the fourth in the USA.
Yeah.
In your vision, what are the sort of cities or territories would you want to expand to sort of in the next few years? Was that enough for now?
Currently, it's quite enough. Yeah, because it's like the marathon, or when you like pass the torch when you ran your like distance and you pass it to another man. I pass the torch to myself. I'm just finished building the Moscow showroom. Now I'm starting to build the Dubai's, and it never ends. And sometimes
enough for now. That's
quite enough. Yeah, and if we are starting to build one in USA very soon, I will really have something to do. So yeah, I'm open.
Maybe
open
London.
for discussions.
Maybe London's a good calling. So it's a interesting marketplace.
Yeah, but the London is from what I've seen is one of the most populated with our colleagues, the region, the city, and it's cool. So a lot of CDA members are from London or England, and the level of the penetration of the professionalism in Britain is very high and very deep. And And that's where the competition is also quite high.
True,
So I'm
and,
not
and, and
sure
the
it's like
weather's
the
nowhere
best.
near as good as the other places.
Yeah, probably.
And I always ask my guests before I let them go. Obviously, your passion is movies, music. Would you kindly share with us some of the things that you love watching frequently, or some of the best movie experiences you have in your glorious cinema, or some of your favorite artists musically? What can you share with us?
I'm
Or even
personally like
recommendations of stuff that you've watched and you thought, oh my God, that's just blown my mind in terms of reference material.
I have so many clips and music in my collection right here. Even
What are
in just in
your go-to
iTunes and Dolby
favorites?
Atmos.
What still gives you goosebumps?
Uh, Let me refresh myself because it's like it's all here. It's a big list.
Right.
Yeah. If talking about me personally, one of the first movies I actually got caught on a cable TV in my small town that's called Uglitch, where I was born. It's a small town in Russia, like 300 kilometers from Moscow. I'm not from Moscow. I'm not born here. Um, when we first connected the cable TV, when it appeared in somewhere like 1991 or even maybe 1990, it was Back to the Future Part 2.
All right.
Since that, since then, that was also one of the key points, I think, where I fell in love with the movies and all that is connected to them. Is So this trilogy is just somewhere on an unreachable place. That's gonna be always my favorite, and I can like rewatch it as many times. Just throw it at me. So it's like the story that don't like leave anyone untouched, or like it's very cool movie. It's not that great in the sound effects, the main, but the story is just something out of this world. And regarding the effects, you know, so many nice clips, so many great movies. Um, I usually try to show the different parts of what system can really deliver, different scale of emotions, different type of emotions. So for example, to easily making girls cry, of course, The Star is Born.
Classic.
Star is Born, Shallow, or the other song, forget about how yeah, but doesn't matter. It's very good piece of music. Of course, some song from Hans Zimmer live in Prague
Of course.
can
Have you
easily
watched the
blow
new
you
Blu-ray?
out. Oh yeah,
The
oh yeah. The
fabulous,
picture
simply
is good.
fabulous.
The
Yeah.
picture is good, but the sound was better in the previous one.
Yes.
It's another piece of cup of tea, but the first one was like it is, and now
Uh,
in 4K restoration or re-release, it's even better. So one of the very often things that happen here in the demo after the Pirates of the Caribbean, a lot of the time it's the last track in our playlist. Uh, People just stand up and clap their hands together with the audience. For me, it's like I don't even mention that. It's like it's every 2 times of the free guests it happens. So yeah, this one, and yeah, I think the Greatest Showman. And you can pick any track. You can pick any track. It really reveals the system. It really gives the emotions of different type. And we very often we like to start the demo from Never Enough. It gives your ears very easy way to actually warm up before, for example, Top Gun Maverick
mhm.
or Quiet Place to scare you suddenly.
All the
Yeah,
classic ones.
and something in between, James Bond, We Are Leaving. This scene with the car, it shows so many things about your audio system, and it can blow away almost anyone who didn't expect that he can really imagine himself together with the Bond inside this DB. I forgot DB5 or what model was that? When you're just there with them inside this car, and you can really appreciate why they gave the Oscar for the sound for this particular title. So these are like most common use, but I have like a list, and it always exploring. It's very big. It's very big, yeah. And many times when I get out, when I get out and just don't experience this level of audio for like several weeks, I get back, and it's like a first time again. You know, I sit myself and like smiling in every new track, and I know what I do. It always makes me happy.
Exactly.
And very often there's one more funny thing about this particular system and this particular type of systems with Alcons, especially when you go somewhere and just don't like what you hear, just I don't know, hear something bad, been to some like noise polluted place, I just say it. And very often it happens in trade shows, and several rooms that didn't actually deliver what you expected. I need an Alcons therapy. That's what I say. And I go to Alcons room or to my showroom. And I sit and now my ears are calibrated back.
Reset. That's good.
Reset to reference. Bring it on.
Yeah, it's like the coffee beans when you're smelling too many perfumes and you don't like any of them. You need to just go back and need to just
and eat some coffee beans. That's true.
There's going to be some big cinema and movies are thriving. I've watched some incredible films in the last 24 months. And I think once these get released on Kaleidoscope or 4K Ultra HD, there's going to be some phenomenal reference material coming out later this year. I have to say the Michael Jackson bioepic is incredible. Sinners from last year was amazing. One battle after another. Marty Supreme. All of these are very, very, they'll look stunning on a acoustic projector. The sound mixes, they're all award-winning, at the Oscars. So for us in our industry, it's as long as they keep creating the content, we're just going to have big smiles every single time.
I'm so happy about like past several years about the movies really released and keep releasing this year is just something amazing. I've just been to Mortal Kombat 2.
Oh, how
Dubai,
was that? Was that fun?
In IMAX. The picture, just something like the eye candy, the whole movie is just an eye candy. It's quite stupid like story, but funny. Carl Urban just kicks it off.
Fantastic.
And it's fun, very fun, and so great looking. It's like, I don't know, very, very cool. Very cool.
And then we're looking forward to watching the Odyssey and, of course, the final of Dune at the end of the year.
Yeah, and one more thing I really wanted to add. You remind me about when I said calibrate my ears, I suddenly remembered that the calibration process is like one small but very unique skill and thing. You can also either do it right and really bring out the best from any room, and especially rooms which were already taken so deeply cared of. Either you can spoil the whole experience, and that is where all of my skills and natural born talents are also come into play. Because if you don't have a good hearing, you cannot calibrate the system.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't think as an engineer and you don't really understand how the signal is going through all the chain up to the end, like driver of the speaker, you cannot calibrate the system right. Mm-hmm. You just don't understand the process, and you can't hear and know what it is capable of and how it should sound the right way when it's really and bringing out the best of it. That's also like quite a rare set of skills that is why I understood. So there are so small amount of people who are really good calibrators. Not in my country, but in this world.
Mhm.
It's like, I don't know. It's very small part because so many things have to come together in one person for him to be able to start learning that and be good at it. And that is very important thing, when you invest like $1 million into one room and the final stage is just done like, press one button. I'm a Trinnov calibrator. I know how to position a Trinnov microphone and press several buttons. That is not the calibration. It takes me at least 2 days for the sound and at least 4 or 5 hours for the video, depending on the system, to really bring the system close to its capabilities, to what it's been really envisioned and designed for. And that is also a very rare thing that I see on the market among my colleagues here in Russia, everywhere. And it's very important. It's very important. Just bringing all the juice from the system, it's very important. That's also what, like, one of our key strong things about delivering the wholeness of experience from the beginning till the end. I myself, a HA level 3 certified calibrator, ISF certified calibrator, and I understand that the certificate is not the guarantee, because it has to be both the knowledge, the experience, and the amount of the experience, and of course the ability to really deliver and understand what is good and what is bad. And when you bring all that things together in one project within one room, you can really deliver something magical. And that's what we are. That's what Blackroom is about.
What a fantastic summary. And if anyone listening, if you're thinking that was the description of a Michelin star restaurant, well, it's very similar. It's all about the experience, but everything that you've just described in a nutshell is exactly why we're doing it. Anton, thank you so much for your time, for sharing your expertise. Congratulations again on the global expansion of Blackroom and being done very, very carefully and curating it with the correct partners. Wish you every success going forward and with all of the showrooms and all of your partners. And if anyone is interested, they can get in touch with you. They can go on the website. They can arrange their own VIP experience with you. And if you're in that market, if you're really pursuing something of excellence, I'd encourage you to get in touch with yourself and go for the Blackroom experience. And you certainly won't regret making the investment. Anton, thank you so much. We're going to continue following on socials, on your LinkedIn profile. Thank you for all the videos and all the experiences in the rooms that you're delivering and sharing that with us. And we're really excited just to see what you and your team deliver in the future.
Thanks for having me, Atif. That was a truly, truly, truly deeply pleasurable thing to do with you today. Thank you.
Thank you.